Hey beauties! And of course, men are welcome here too. Have a seat. Let's come together for some story time tonight. So grab your skincare, your drink, your snacks, whatever makes you comfy, because tonight's story is perfect for a chill night in, unless you're planning to get any actual sleep. So have you ever heard about those places people say you should never step into? The kind of place where the second you cross over, the line between life and death just disappears. If a place like that suddenly appeared in front of you, what would you do? Run for your life, or would curiosity get the better of you and push you inside? Now, let's talk about a village in Japan that doesn't exist on any map. A place people say swallows anyone who dare step inside. Let's get started. There is a village tucked deep in the mountains of Aomori, Japan. It doesn't exist on maps anymore. You won't find it in the government records either. It's as if the place was wiped out of history on purpose. But the name survived, Sugisawa Village. People say about 80 years ago, something horrific happened there. After that, the village was abandoned, and people stopped speaking its name. The only thing that remained was the warning. If you set foot in Sugisawa, you will never come back. Recently, though, a photo started circulating online. Along with it, a handful of creepy eyewitness accounts. And just like that, the legend of Sugisawa came back to life. So tonight, let's go through it. The people who disappeared after crossing into the village, and the ones who claim they actually saw it. Back in 1938, Sugisawa looked like any other quiet little farming town. It was surrounded by thick forest, the soil was rich, and life was simple. Families farmed, hunted, shared meals, and everyone depended on each other like one big extended family. But one humid night, just after the summer rains, everything changed. A young man from the village completely snapped. No one ever figured out why. He picked up an axe and went from house to house. Neighbors, relatives, close friends, he cut down everyone he came across. The streets filled with screams, and before long, blood was running through the dirt roads. And when it was all over, the young man turned the axe on himself. And that was the end of Sugisawa. From then on, people called it a ghost village. Technically, the land was folded into the neighboring district, but in reality, nobody dared to set foot there. Locals said if you walked near the valley, you could hear strange sounds carried on the wind, like low cries or a voice trying not to be heard. And the ones who claimed to hear it, they never came back. As the years went on, the name disappeared from maps. Official records were erased. It's almost like the place was meant to be forgotten. But among ghost hunters and urban legend fans, the same details keep coming up. At the entrance, there's said to be a sign in red paint. If you enter, your life cannot be guaranteed. Beside it, an old torii gate, cracked and leaning. A torii gate is a traditional Japanese gate that marks the entrance to a Shinto shrine, or a sacred place. And at its base, a black stone, shaped almost exactly like a human skull. Some say that deep inside, there's still a ruined house with dark stains splattered across the walls, blood from that night that never faded. And the story goes, the spirits of the dead are still there. Anyone who steps inside feels it. The air gets heavy, your chest tightens like something is slowly pulling the breath right out of you. So back when the rumors of Sugisawa were at its peak, there were always people who wanted to chase after them. 3 of them set out one night. 2 guys and a girl crammed into an old beat-up car, winding their way up a dark mountain road. The guys were hyped before they even left the city. They kept trading stories they'd picked up from online forums and occult groups. Hardly anyone's ever actually been there. They say the torii and skull-shaped stone are real. The whole drive, their voices filled the car. The girl, though, she hadn't planned on much. She was just along for the ride. But as the headlights cut through pitch-black forest with no streetlights anywhere, her chest started to tighten. And then she saw something. Through the dark, there it was, a broken, leaning torii gate. And at its base, a stone so dark and smooth, it looked almost carved into the shape of a human skull. The guys shouted like they just struck gold. "The legend is real," they yelled. But the second she laid eyes on it, a chill scraped right down her spine. Her body screamed to turn around. "Let's go back," she said. But the guys just smirked. "It's just a story. If it's real, that's even better." They pulled the car over, grabbed their flashlights, and before she even realized it, she was following them, standing right there in front of the gate. And then, almost against her will, she stepped across. The moment she did, she felt it, like something in the dark had been waiting for her, watching her. As soon as they crossed that torii, the air grew heavy. Every step felt slower, heavier. All around them, the only sound was branches scraping against the wind. They passed sagging rooftops, crumbling walls, broken shells of houses long abandoned. And then, at the top of a hill, they saw it, a single large house looming in the dark. One of the guys pushed open the gate. It creaked, and the smell hit them all at once. Damp earth, rot, and something else. Metallic, sour, like old blood. Their flashlights swept across the walls, and that's when they saw it. Dark stains splattered across the plaster, dried and blackened with time. The walls, the ceiling, even the wooden beams. On the floor, smears shaped like hands dragged through the dirt. Along the banister, long red scratches that looked like claw marks. The girl froze. She couldn't breathe. And then she felt something, a presence right behind her, so close she could almost hear it holding its breath. The guys suddenly stopped smiling. Their faces went stiff. And just then, something hit the floor above them. Thud! A drop of thick liquid dripped down into the beam of a flashlight, glistening as it splattered. It spread slow and sticky across the floor, filling the room with the sharp smell of iron. When they raised their flashlights toward the ceiling, something dangled through a gap in the beams. A tattered, broken doll strung up by a rotting rope. But the liquid dripping from its arms wasn't dust. It was dark, red-black, like old, clotted blood. No one moved, and then a soft scraping came from the wall. The flashlight caught it, a bloody handprint. It was moving, slowly crawling upward across the wall. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Her breath came in shallow gasps. The instant she saw that handprint climbing on its own, the girl broke. "Enough, guys, we have to get out of here," she cried. And for once, the guys didn't argue. They bolted out the door, across the yard. But the moment their feet hit the grass, they realized they were not alone. In the bushes, dozens of eyes blinked open, not caught in the light, no. Glowing on their own, red, blue, watching. The air turned icy and damp, pressing in from every direction. And then came the voices, whispers, chants, low words they couldn't even make out, crawling under their skin. And Behind them, the footsteps, not like a person's, heavier, like something dragging across the dirt. They ran harder than they had ever run in their lives. But the torii gate never appeared. The path twisted, stretched, folded into itself like the mountain was trapping them inside. Roots snagged their ankles, stones sent them stumbling, their lungs burned, but the footsteps behind them never slowed. If anything, they were getting closer. And at some point, without even realizing it, the three of them weren't together anymore. "Hey, where are you?" one of the guys shouted, his voice vanishing into the dark. But the girl could only hear her own ragged breathing. And right behind her, those steps. She refused to look back. Every nerve in her body screamed the same warning. If you turn around, it's over. The flashlight flickered. The air grew heavier, pressing on her chest. And then hot breath brushed the back of her neck. She stumbled, nearly crying, but kept forcing her body forward. Because she knew if she stopped, if she turned back, she would never leave Sugisawa alive. Her chest heaved, breath scraping out of her throat as she clawed her way to the car. She yanked the door open, threw herself into the driver's seat, and with trembling hands twisted the key. Please start. But the engine only sputtered, coughed, refused to turn over. And then she heard the sound. Thud, thud, something hitting the car from the outside. She froze, held her breath. Rain? But when she glanced at the window, her stomach dropped. It wasn't rain. Thick, red streaks were sliding down the glass. Blood? She turned her head and nearly screamed. Dozens of hands, just hands, nothing above the wrist, pale, drenched, gripping the car from every direction. Fingers clawing at the windows, leaving smears of dark, clotted filth under their nails. Drops of blood rolled down the glass like rainwater. "Get away from me! Leave me alone!" Her scream only made it worse. More hands slammed against the windows. The car rocked violently from side to side, metal groaning, bolts straining. And then, voices. "Come with us. This is where you belong." Male and female voices tangled together, some whispering in words she couldn't understand. Her head spun as she clutched the wheel and squeezed her eyes shut. That's when a single damp hand dragged itself down the windshield, slowly until it stopped inches from her face. On its skin, black burn marks, as if scorched by fire. Around its wrist, deep grooves, like rope had cut into the flesh. Her lips trembled. No, no. The world tilted, her vision dimmed, and then everything went black. Morning came. The sun lit the slopes of the mountain, and a group of hikers made their way along a narrow trail. One of them stopped suddenly. There, someone's lying there. They rushed over and found a woman collapsed by a tree. Her head lolled forward until she weakly lifted it, mumbling in a cracked voice. "Run, you have to run." Her eyes flickered, unfocused. But what shocked everyone most wasn't her words. It was her hair. In a single night, her black hair had turned completely white. Like decades of age had been forced onto her all at once. "Were you alone? Did you come with anyone?" someone asked. Her body shook as she sobbed. "There were 2 others, but they're gone. They took them." Her gaze drifted back toward the forest. Her lips trembled as she whispered, "The torii, never again, never." Rescuers and police combed the entire area, but there were no signs of the 2 men. No footprints, no clothing, not even a flashlight. It was as if they'd been erased. And the woman, she disappeared too. After being discharged from the hospital, she vanished without a trace. To this day, she's never been found. Sugisawa village still doesn't appear on any map, but people say somewhere deep in the mountains it's still there, waiting for the next visitor. And the rumors remain the same. Those who cross the Tori never come back. In August of 2000, Fuji TV's hit show Miracle Experience Unbelievable tried to uncover the truth behind Sugisawa village. Their crew set out multiple times, determined to find it. But every attempt failed. They couldn't even locate the Tori. Equipment broke down for no reason, GPS units glitched and sent them off course, and strange malfunctions kept forcing them to turn back. In the end, the show could only offer one conclusion. Sugisawa village exists in a distortion of time and space. A place that appears and then disappears. But ironically, the broadcast only made the place more famous. Among occult fans and internet explorers, Sugisawa became a legend. Soon, people online began claiming they knew exactly where it was. Some even posted what they called proof, photos, maps, directions. One poster claimed he visited the village not once, but twice, in 2003 and 2004. He shared pictures that looked like they were pulled straight from the rumors, a crumbling torii gate, and beneath it, the black stone shaped like a skull. He even detailed his route. According to him, Sugisawa wasn't hidden in the deep forest like everyone thought, but surprisingly close to an industrial area. He said he drove south along Route 103, then cut west on a prefectural road until the torii appeared, waiting for him. In his final post, he wrote, "The moment I stepped through the gate, the air changed. It felt like someone had been watching me there all along." After that, he never posted again. No updates, no sign of him online, as if he just disappeared. So Sugisawa village remains a place that doesn't officially exist. Is it just a legend? Or is it truly a village where anyone who enters never returns? We still don't know. But the stories tell us that some of the people who went looking for Sugisawa never came back. Now here's where it gets interesting. There actually was a place people called Sugisawa, but officially the name was different. Kosugi, a small hamlet outside modern-day Aomori City, in an area known as Obatakezawa. Sugisawa wasn't a real administrative district at all, but more of a nickname, a name locals used in passing. Some say it came from the land itself, a cedar grove with a stream cutting through. Others believe it twisted from an old dialect phrase, going to the cedars. Whatever the case, Kosugi was real. And like many remote villages in Japan, it eventually withered away, overtaken by age and depopulation until there was nothing left. And yet, the story of a massacre in 1938 persists. The records don't show such a crime in Aomori, but in the same year, far away in Okayama, something horrifying did happen. The Tsuyama massacre, where an entire village was slaughtered in one night by a young man with an axe. 30 lives lost, a tragedy so shocking that it inspired novels, films, and maybe it bled into the legend of Sugisawa. But if Sugisawa was only Kosugi, a hamlet that faded away naturally, then why do people still claim to see the torii? Why do photos surface showing the skull-shaped stone? Why do explorers vanish after declaring they found the place? The so-called site of Sugisawa today sits on private land, closed off from curious eyes. But some say that's just where the road begins, not where it ends. So is Sugisawa just a ghost story, stitched together from history and rumor? Or is it something stranger, a real place erased from records, but not from reality? What do you think that was? Do you believe a place like Sugisawa could really exist? A village warped in time, appearing and disappearing at will? Or is it just a story people kept alive because some truths are too unsettling to let go of? So I'd love to hear what you believe. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And whatever the truth is, if you ever come across a lonely tori in the forests of Aomori, don't be too quick to call it coincidence, because the place you found might not be on any map, and once you step through, no one can promise you will come back. That is a wrap for today. Have a good night's sleep, guys. Bye.